So you'll have a way better understanding kind of what's going on, because there's a lot of jumping between timelines in the 2015s, 2013, that sort of thing. It keeps on jumping, and it also jumps to the 50s too. So you also see stuff, what's going on in the 50s. So it's a lot of jumping of time, which I'll get to later as being a bit of a concern. But I would recommend you watch What's up, everyone? Jim Alexander here with Real Talker, and today I am reviewing the Apple TV series Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Yes, we see Godzilla behind me. So this is definitely for those that are fans of Godzilla, the Monsterverse. This is the show. So yeah, let's take a look at what the show has to offer, and should you see it, should you not, we're gonna give that review. I am technically to you. So
Monarch was there in San Francisco. When the whole city was coming down, these guys were taking pictures, like they'd been waiting for it.
You think that your father was working for them?
This stuff was in a safe.
Who are they? What's Monarch?
Okay, so Monarch: Legacy of Monsters debuts on Apple TV on Friday, November 18th. So that's coming up. And that is going to be one of the most anticipated shows of the year for Apple, but also for kind of like the sci-fi fans and everyone out there. It's, as you can see, the tagline is Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell, father, son in real life. They're both in this show. So that's kind of fitting there. But it's got a really good cast all around. You have, besides them, you have actors such as John Goodman makes an appearance, Kiersey Clemens, Anna Sawai, who you'll see a lot in the show of. And really just a great crew of actors all around. This is a big ensemble that you're going to get here, and you definitely, a show, also some kind of newer actors too that you're going to get to know while watching the show too. So like I said, there's Anders Holmes also in it. So yeah, you'll see very recognizable faces as you watch this show. The story kind of, for those of you who are wondering, okay, so it takes place after the battle between Godzilla and the Titans. So now we know that the monsters are real, and it kind of follows one family's attempt and sort of their journey, I'd say, to uncover secrets, between the monsters and linking them to the Monarch organization. So that's why it's all in the name Monarch. For those that don't know, Monarch is basically sort of the organization that tracks or the monsters, like Godzilla, and then they're the ones kind of connected to it. It's like a underground organization in a sense. So yeah, so we are introduced to, and like, let's say the first episode here, we don't see Kurt Russell, but we do see Wyatt Russell in a different timeline. And we also see John Goodman, and I think he's there to really kind of link up timelines. Like I said, if you're wondering the timelines here, best I would say is it's a prequel to the Monsterverse. Okay, that's on tap. But it's a sequel to the Godzilla film. So it's a sequel to the 2014 Godzilla film. So if you're looking for kind of timelines with linking up, and I encourage you to watch the Godzilla film, and Skull Island also. King Kong Skull Island is referenced here too. So you'll have a way better understanding kind of what's going on, because there's a lot of jumping between timelines in the 2015s, 2013, that sort of thing. It keeps on jumping, and it also jumps to the 50s too. So you also see stuff what's going on in the 50s. So it's a lot of jumping of time, which I'll get to later as being a bit of a concern. But I would recommend you watch the Godzilla film and at least Skull Island to get an idea of what's going on here and kind of linking up the timelines here, because without him you're just kind of lost and scattered without a refresher on those movies. So I definitely would encourage that. So the main characters here that we kind of get to know is one played by Anna Sawai. She's Kate, and we're introduced to her going to Tokyo, and after her father was presumably one of the links to the Monarch organization here, potentially. And so she is kind of introduced to another side of a family that she didn't know about. So that's also a big kind of piece where it stems off about her search for her father's really kind of whereabouts, and tracking back his life and the stuff that he left behind. He left a lot for her behind, and her and the character that we also get to know, Kentaro, played by Ren Wantabi, are kind of big characters here to kind of introduce the story to you. So that action kind of takes place in Tokyo, and yes, monsters are real, Godzilla is real. People are aware of that. They're aware of what happened in San Francisco too. Hence linking the other timelines there. But yeah, so it's on the surface, my initial thoughts are kind of, I'm not going to delve in too much deeper into this season because there's a lot of twists and turns, actually. So you need to follow the show. There's new characters that get introduced as the show goes on into the 10 episodes of it work. So think of it as a really long movie or a two-part movie in that way. It looks very movie-like, and it feels very cinematic. One thing about Apple, they do a tremendous job of making their shows look so high end with such great effects and production values. They put a lot of money into their shows, and you can see it, especially in this one. So if you're worried about the CGI and effects looking weak compared to a theatrical movie, it's not the case here because they are on point. This stuff looks real good, and you wouldn't know the difference if you're watching a movie in the theaters or if you're seeing this Apple TV show. That's how good it looks. So high marks for the special effects, CGI, the look of it, the production, the sets. There's a lot of globe-trotting in this movie. We go from San Francisco to Tokyo to just all over kind of the globe. This show spans the globe, really. I forgot what was the other country, but you can see in the credits even too that they're, I think, in South America too at some point. So it literally trots the globe, and it's kind of cool. It gives you this more of an adventurous feel to it, and the scale of it, like, wow, this is a world event, really, not just a localized thing. And you'd imagine Monsters would be a world event. So it plays in nicely that they have several locations here where these characters are taking place, and hence for the timelines also. So I did like that about the show. The acting's good. I thought they cast a good blend of recognizable faces like a Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell, Anders Holm, but also sort of like up and coming actors. And I'm glad that there's a lot of good Asian actors in here too. They really used some really talented actors here of Asian descent, and it gives you more of an authentic feel. You don't want to be in Tokyo and it's all white people, right? That's not realistic. So these characters are of Asian descent, a lot of the cast here, and they do a great job. Like I said, Ren Wantabi, obviously one of the main ones here. You also have Mari Yamamoto, who plays Kiko, also a central character. Kyoko Kudo plays a Miko. I probably butchered her name there. Apologies in advance. But yeah, Anna Sawai is sort of established as the main character. She plays Kate, and she's the one piecing things together in the current sort of timeline that they're in. So do you get initially a lot of monsters, if that's your question? No, the first few episodes kind of tease things, but and it's a good thing. It's a slow burn in that sense. You're just not fed with monsters. You get some, you get to see flashbacks, a lot of flashbacks too, but you don't get it all right away, which is good because you have 10 episodes to work it all in that case. So I thought them holding it off for a bit was a smart move and pays off in the long run, right? For that. But the plot, it's very mysterious. There's a lot of twists and turns episode to episode. First episode leaves you on a major cliffhanger, and it's kind of the story as it goes forward. So you will be sucked in wanting to watch more of this show because it leaves you wanting more. And the more you see the episodes as it goes, the more you're starting to kind of piece things together and cover them. The first episode will leave you confused. It left me confused, especially with the timelines. Like I said, that was the one negative. Early on, the first couple episodes, you're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. Who's what? Who's related to who? Who's connected to who? How did these people cross each other's paths? And why? It just like... storyline wise, you do get kind of left puzzled. At least I was in that sense. So if you didn't see the Godzilla and you have no reference point maybe for the previous Godzilla films, you're just watching this as a show, you will be even more lost. So definitely refresh yourself on some Godzilla film knowledge and what goes on in them, and it'll help you gather this. So in that aspect, but otherwise I felt like it was just a lot thrown at you and a lot of different timelines moving around and, jumping of past and present. And then not only the different timelines, we're jumping from the 50s to the 2015, 2013 sort of thing, but you had the timelines too, a lot of flashbacks early on in the earlier episodes too. So something to keep in mind to make sure you're paying attention, because you can get lost really quick as to what's going on and maybe care less about the show, which I encourage you not to, because it does pay off later and it does become easier to digest and understand. So otherwise, I just think everything is creative and well done. And Apple does treat their shows as big and important, and you can see it. And the storylines, like I said, it has a purpose, right? So it all might not make sense early on, but it does the more you go in. Like I said, it's a prequel for the MonsterVerse. So it's going to set up a whole universe of monster movies coming up with Godzilla and Kong and, whatever is Godzilla versus Kong, the movie that just came out last year, doesn't really play into this at all, the storyline wise. But the MonsterVerse is being discovered, and the Monarch, kind of underground, whatever it is. It's hard to kind of figure out what Monarch is. That's why you kind of learn throughout this organization and what they're about, and their discovery of the monsters and how deep and long ago in time that it goes, right? How deep it goes, and the people involved in it. So I think that's kind of the mysterious fun part, trying to figure out the Monarch organization and the people behind it, and how did they come to learn about the monsters. So I think that's another intriguing part of it. Like I said, the sound of it sounds good. Like for a home viewing, it looks good. It sounds good. It feels good too, seeing that. So I think they did a heck of a job. I was really excited about this show, and I wasn't disappointed by it. So I was really actually encouraged about what they were able to accomplish, and what fans will actually get to see too. So I thought it was well done. Now on to, before I forget anything else, I just think you should check it out. I don't want to give out much here because I think there's a lot to be taken in as a viewer and digested. And the big thing takeaway is, I'd say, is make sure to watch Godzilla, previously the 2014 version, that kind of sets up these timelines and what had happened. So the characters are different, but the timeline adds up in that case. So prep yourself a little bit here coming into this one, but it's also an enjoyable experience no matter what. So acting, I thought it was well acted. They found the right people, and overall, you get some new fresh faces, some good diversity too here. And I was pleased with the acting portion and the people involved in this, because I feel like they did a job, good job here, with the talent they had. So if you're looking just kind of Kurt Russell, you might be slightly disappointed. That's all I'm going to say, because there's just not one person that this leans on. This is a true ensemble of a cast. So keep that in mind. So when it comes to acting, I give this a really solid 8 out of 10 on the acting. Entertainment, like I said, if you can get yourself through maybe the timelines and all that, I thought it was a very entertaining show. It looks cool, and they were patient too. I appreciated that, because you just don't want to be throwing everything in the first couple episodes and then you have 8 more to go and it becomes stale. It didn't feel stale at all. So I think entertainment wise, if you can get through to early ons, it's a good show. So I'd give that a 7.5 on the entertainment portion. Plot story, it's good, but like I said, the big thing is keeping the timelines in check and not being turned off after the first episode or first 2 episodes of it. Give it a chance. If you can get through it, if you can take my advice and see the Godzilla movie prior, I think that'll help it out, the experience overall. But with that being said, that was a big kind of stumbling block initially. So I'd have to give it a 6.5 when it comes to that. It just kind of threw me off. Impression, good impression, a really good impression of the show. I thought it was, like I said, looked great, felt good, felt authentic to the Godzilla and MonsterVerse. And even I like the fact that he did do like a 1950 storyline, how deep it goes, how far back all this goes, the tie into Skull Island, which was cool too. Early on, it gives you kind of a perspective, right? So I thought impression it made was really good on me. So I give it a 9 on the impression that the show gave. And creativity, I thought they were really creative. They did a lot of stuff here. They said multiple continents, multiple characters, tying him in, different timelines. They really went in depth here too. So I feel like creativity wise, they did a solid job of trying to link up the MonsterVerse. Although, like I said, they should have had probably some sort of a notice that like, hey, you should see Godzilla prior, and this is a prequel to the MonsterVerse, just so you have an idea where this is going and how this is squeezed in between two, a timeline of what's to come and what happened. So in that case, I'm giving the creativity a 9 also. So, overall, I think it was, really solid, 80% of a show. So it really is definitely worth the watch. It's cool and fun the more you get into it, and definitely addictive too. So once you start watching it, I think with the cliffhangers, they do a great job in that. It will definitely keep you sucked in for more. So Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, I'm pleased to say it does not disappoint. It lives up to the hype, and it's cool and interesting and entertaining enough, for sure, to stick through all 10 episodes when they come out. So make sure to check out when it debuts. It's right, basically it's ripe and ready for the holiday season here, with the debut coming, obviously, very much so for the holidays. So you can watch it at Thanksgiving and, after all the way through the holidays for it. So Friday, I misspoke. It's Friday, November 17th, right? That's that's a date for the release. So it's Friday, but I said 18th early on. It's the 17th. And the first 2 episodes will drop on Friday 17th, followed by 1 episode every Friday a week. So we have one on, third one's going to be on November 24th, 4th on December 1st, 5th, December 8th. It's going to go all the way through the finale on January 13th. So you're going to have some holiday fun, and after the holidays to indulge in this. And I like how they drop the first 2 and then build it up every week. So I can imagine people will be returning for it. But that's it for Monarch Legacy of Monsters. I'm Jim Alexander. Make sure to subscribe. It helps me do these reviews and bring them to you. When you subscribe, just takes 1 click, but it makes a difference. And make sure to like if you like this review and my reaction of it. And of course, comment. I want to hear what your thoughts are. How are you hyped for it? Once you see the first 2 episodes, let me know what you think. And I'm curious to know where do you think this show is going to go, and what are your expectations for it? Also, you can follow me on social media at the Jim Alexander. That's on TikTok, Instagram, and X, called still Twitter, and also at The Real Talker on those same platforms. So that's where you can catch me. Until next time, until next review, till next interview. And I do have interviews coming up with the people behind Monarch Legacy of Monsters. So make sure to stay tuned for that too. Give you some more insight on the show and what may come of it. And so yeah, check those out. And until next time, I am out.